for putting this event together. It's very critical. We do a lot of those orientations. Actually, we start doing them usually mid-fall and throughout until the end of the spring. And for those who have planned to join this one and miss it, it's going to be recorded, as well as we will be conducting more of those. Just check our website for the EDD program. We will announce those. There will be actually one coming up on October 11th between noon until 1, and the same orientation or information session will be repeated on the same date, Tuesday, October 11th from 4 till 5. You can always reach out to us. I'll go through the PowerPoint, highlight some of the things that we do in the DIPL and some of the facts. Again, welcome. Thank you so much. What we will be doing this morning is just go over the context and background of how the doctoral program in education leadership evolved at CSUB over the past 12 years or so. Also, we'll talk about the Carnegie Project on the Educational Doctorate, known as CPID, which is the agency that has actually refashioned EDD programs nationally and across the globe, quite frankly. Also, we will touch upon the application process, all the information also is found on our website. It's a two-step process. One will get you in the system, and then the second is very specific to the program requirements. We will attend to any of the questions and comments that you may have. All right. Now, historically, CSUs were not allowed actually to offer doctorates in any field, including in education. Many years ago, about actually at least 15 or 20 years ago, the CSU Executive Order 991. To learn more about the Executive Order 991, which actually came about as somehow a system mandate that allows CSUs to offer doctorates in education, mainly educational leadership. We were among the early adopters of the program, and then we started jointly for 5 years with CSU Fresno, and then we transitioned as a standalone in 2016-17. Right now, we are recruiting for cohort 8, which will start in the fall 2023. But to learn more about the executive order and the historical background of how the EDD programs evolved at CSUs, there are a lot of information on the website, and we also share a lot of specifics when candidates get admitted and help them make connections as to what the program entails in terms of their professional development and personal journey and academic journey and everything in between. One of the main premises of that EDD initiative, historically, the UCs, the University of California system, has always offered degrees, PhDs and EDDs in different fields as labeled, research institutions. So this has changed thanks to Executive Order 991. Also, it has changed because of the CPID, the Carnegie Project on Education Doctorate, that has actually done a lot of work in trying to examine the paradigms and frameworks that would serve as overarching, basically, frameworks for EDD programs. And they refashion them as such. They have 6 basic standards and principles. Again, there's a lot of information about the CPID online, so you want to navigate through the CPID website at your own convenience and learn about this professional organization. And we are an active member of it, and so is CSU Fresno, our partner we started with many years ago. We usually participate in their meetings and symposia, and they have annual ones, and they have really a nice network across the country and across the globe. We do address and integrate all the standards that are part of the CPED. Our coursework and field experiences are aligned with those standards and principles. They are big on basically research and promoting a doctoral culture of research, where candidates are prepared in terms of their skill and conceptual knowledge to become change agents in the schools, and leaders who really seek to tackle any problems of practice in the K through 20 system. They have anchor activities, signature assignments that are field-based. Also, they have a major anchor requirement we call dissertation, of course, that revolves around tackling a problem of practice where candidates have to collect data and original data basically, and analyze it and write a dissertation. And I'll talk about that in a few moments. As I said, we started jointly successfully between 2010 and 15, and we moved to a standalone 2016. So technically, we are in cohort 13 because we have started cohort 7 as a standalone this fall, and we are recruiting for cohort 8 starting fall 2023. We are one of the 14 CSU campuses that offer EDDs, and we have a consortium of those campuses. We meet at least once a term. We discuss ideas and all that. So all of them are on the same page with the overarching principles of CPED and the mission and the vision of what the EDD program should look like. And we share ideas, we get ideas, and we collaborate in joining efforts and collaborate in enhancing our programs regardless of where the campus may be. So we have a consortium that is thriving and surviving, and trying to reach out to the service areas across the state to recruit education leaders who will play a significant role in transforming the schools and the academy. There's also a question that comes up: what is the difference between EDD and the PhD, right? Both of them are doctorates, and that title is basically specific in such a way that candidates will end up being called a doctor, whether they have a PhD or an EDD. Even in other fields like law and art and many other fields, medicine, they don't have PhD or EDD. They have a specific acronym for their own doctorates. But the line between a PhD and an EDD, both of them, of course, require a wide range of coursework, advanced coursework, and research and dissertation and all that. The EDD is unique in many ways because it is actually a practitioner-oriented kind of degree where you will develop as a change agent, a scholarly practitioner. So it is a professional degree, and it is a blend of theoretical and practical knowledge and skills that will allow you to tackle any problem of practice in the school site that you are trying to basically improve practice at. Again, there are a lot of tenets of that program that include embedded signature assignments, where a lot of the work beyond readings and writing and everything else can just go to the respective field based on the nature of the assignment, and they complete that and submit that for evaluation and all that. In addition to that, the dissertation in the EDD program is unique because it does focus on a problem of practice. It is not something that you produce to collect data and information and put that on the library shelves. No, it's something that you actually use to improve practice and transform the institution, transform the academy, and change policy and enhance the educational output, regardless of the context of the institution that you're trying to study. It does involve a lot of rigor and original data collection and analysis, and the candidates are guided through this process throughout the program. I'll talk about that when we get to the scope sequence of the course requirements and research and dissertation. The program is scoped and sequenced in a meaningful way. It is a 3-year program, total of 8 semesters, semesters including 2 semesters, and also include the summers. Those basically result in candidates completing 60 units, including the dissertation. We have an audience that is diverse, non-traditional. They don't go to school from Monday to Friday full-time. These are basically full-time employees and professionals in the schools and the universities and community colleges. By design, the program is created to appeal to those busy folks who have a lot of other responsibilities and duties and tasks throughout the week. So we hold all those classes on Saturdays using, of course, Canvas and Line, Zoom, and everything else. But it is not going to interfere with your weekly schedule on a daily basis. So we use a cohort model. Everyone who gets admitted, they get admitted the same term, and if all goes well in the normal course of events, they complete the program together. All classes are held Saturdays from 9 till 3 p.m. and we alternate. So each Saturday we offer one class, and the following Saturday we offer another class, and spread those out accordingly for 3 years. We tell candidates that you need to block your Saturdays for 3 years when you get into the program, and of course, except holidays and what have you. It is labor intensive. We work with everybody. The cohort model has an internal layer of support as we seek to develop a community of learners and professionals. And it does have a lot of social and academic and emotional as well benefits. Also, we are part of that layer of support as faculty. We have a team of distinguished faculty who join forces and not only teach, but also guide and advise the cohort members and address all their needs beyond even the academic level. Another aspect of this program is we have 2 kinds of audiences within the same cohort. We have candidates who come from the pre-K through 12 and candidates who come from higher education, all of whom complete the same core classes. There are some electives where we split them by track. So there are some electives, they start taking some of those after the first year and a half, midway in the program. They may be split, like if you are a K through 12, you take an elective with the same track of your peers. And if you are higher education, you'll take another elective strictly for higher education. But for the most part, and there are electives also that are taken by everybody. And the program, again, starting fall 23, by spring 26, candidates should complete. Again, it's a 3-year program. Of course, unless things happen in life, everyone's susceptible to that. And then we have some mechanisms for those who might need to go on leave or those who might not finish in time and all that. We monitor and track everything and everybody throughout from the point and entry until they finish. Talked about the dissertation in action, which is, again, you literally produce a book that is grounded with original data collected by the candidate and authentic fields as well. And then you eventually publish that. But there is a scope and sequence. First, candidates will begin the first year completing major core courses, and then they start transitioning midway into the advancement to candidacy, which is outlined here. And this includes basically completing what we call a qualifying exam. It's not a paper and pencil exam. It is a process where candidates will complete a 25 to 35 paper where they write a dissertation prospectus, which is a plan for their dissertation proposal, which eventually evolves into a dissertation proposal, which eventually is built upon to develop a dissertation of 5 chapters and defended, and then get published in ProQuest and other clearinghouse such as ScholarWorks and everything else. But this is also scoped and sequenced in such a way that candidates are guided through the process, and strategically at each point in the term, we will give them the relevant information and guide them through navigating that process of thinking about the topic for their dissertation and how you are going to conceptualize that, and then how you are going to develop the dissertation proposal, and then how you are going to carry out that proposal once you defend it. And committee, after they get to pass the qualifying exams, a committee for the dissertation is formed, which includes at least 3 members, including a chair of that dissertation. And those will be guiding the candidate throughout the process, ranging from how to refine the topic and solidify the research plan to help them navigate the pockets of literature, and then depending on the research genre or methodology they use, help them use those procedures, techniques, and tools of data collection and analysis, and then go back and forth between the candidate, the committee members, and the chair, and review the drafts of everything they write and give them feedback and everything else until they get to the finish line and defend that before it is published. There are a lot of great samples on ProQuest published. You can find tons of those since we started jointly and since we started as a standalone. There are a couple of recent ones that have been published. One of them is qualitatively oriented by now Dr. Jason Watkins, and the other one is quantitatively oriented by now Dr. Patricia Espinoza. We always encourage students to look at sample completed dissertations that were done by our students in the program, because looking at the completed sample will help candidates get the bigger picture of how they're going to go about their own topic and how they are going to work on materializing their own dissertation in action. We again have lots of resources and faculty and experts who will be guiding them throughout the process. We have a lot of data, frankly, about the program quality. We monitor everything, we revise as needed, we integrate student input, but these are some of the highlights I would like to talk about. We have a high percentage of double students who graduate on time. This is a really demanding, rigorous process, and it does take a lot. It does take a lot of family support, program support, cohort support. It is a good investment. Within 3 years, we tell candidates, you're not going to have a life except trying to get that program completed and that dissertation successfully defended and completed. But we do have a high percentage of students who graduate on time. We also have a lot of great things happen sometimes during the program. A high percentage of candidates get promoted either by the time they finish, sometimes even before they finish, and definitely after they complete the program. And they move up into a lot of bigger and better things. They also We also are active members of the accreditation. We are seeking national accreditation known as AQUIP, and we listen to students. We value their voice. We use the input to continually improve the program. Finally, I want to just highlight the application process. Everything actually is outlined in the website. I highly encourage you to start as soon as possible with the first step on Cal Apply, and then everything is outlined in terms of the materials requirements. Always have you know, reach out to us if you have any questions or any concerns. We also, as I said, we are active members of the CPED. We are also accredited by different professional organizations, the regional and national levels. WASC is our accreditation body. Also, we are the only CSU that is offering an EDD. Our DIPL program is the only one among those 14 campuses that are seeking AQUIB. AQUIB is a new actually agency. We used to have INCATE, CAPE, that have always accredited us. Now the new accreditation body we are seeking is called AQUIB, which stands for the Association for Advancing Quality in Educator Preparation. And by the way, our site visit will actually take place in 6 weeks, beginning of November. And then basically we have been working on this for the past 2 years. What accreditation entails is basically they have a set of standards. So these are the main AQUIB standards: standard 1, standard 2, 3, 4. And then each standard has a series of aspects and specific elements that spell out what the program should look like. Okay. In the process, we collect a lot of evidence, and we look into the continual improvement plan and self-study, leave no stone unturned to make sure that we are meeting, not only meeting it, but also exceeding those standards and these aspects. Again, take your time and try to navigate through this AQUIB website to learn more about what accreditation entails. In a way, it is the rubber stamp of integrity that will give the institution and the program that, yes, your program is quality program and has areas of strength and it does what's supposed to be doing. To do so, this is a living process. We continually examine everything that we're doing on daily basis, every semester, every year, and try to look at the areas of need and areas of strength and try to take that to the next level. A major component of that is always using the student input and feedback. We have surveys, we have forums where we collect data about what students say, and data about what they do with the degrees and everything else. So we feel good about the program because it is a quality program and it has an appeal in the larger community. In fact, this is also is reflected by the growing numbers. The average cohort number is 15, but over the past 2 years, we actually have turned people down because the maximum number of students we can take is 18. Sometimes we go 2 or 3 over. Over the past 2 years, we have had consistently admitted 20 candidates. So we had 20 candidates who started during fall 21. We have 20 who started this fall. So we are expected to continue this growing number, and we have a rigorous admission criteria, and we are highly selective because the program is highly competitive. Again, More importantly, there's a huge need for that program because we need those change agents. Make sure that you visit this website frequently, learn more about what we do, and there are a lot of good information. The information sessions we have, for instance, we have a couple that I mentioned earlier this morning, and they are virtual. Just when the time comes, just click on the Zoom link, we'll let you in, we'll go through the session, and then you'll get the chance to answer any questions you have. But it would be great if you actually navigate through the website first to learn about the program and its scope, sequence, and all that. Also, make sure that you go through the requirements, how to apply. And again, the whole process is kind of universal. It's not very tedious. It's not complicated. It's very intuitive. Always reach out to us. We have an ASC full-time who can assist, can give her a call, or can call me as well, or email. And if you get stuck on any of those issues as you try to apply. The first step for the application process is to apply to the university, okay, because we are part of a system-wide. And then the CAL apply. To be admitted in the program, again, there are some basic generic universal requirements ranging from the GPA 3.0 or over, and then an evidence of accomplished academic record, evidence by a master's degree, and everything else. Good professional standing. Most of our candidates are employed professionals in the schools, higher education, community colleges, in the K-12 system. But also, this requirement is waived currently. So we do not require the GRE because this has been put on hold system-wide. And for fall 2023, we are not going to require candidates to complete that. So we're going to update that as well. Then, again, these are the documents that are needed and the criteria that outlines, that guides your application process. There's also information on the website about financial aid and the fees and the costs and everything else. But I want to make sure that we talk about the CAL apply is basically, as I said, this you apply to the system, all right? And it is very intuitive. You just enter which campus you're applying to, the term you're applying for, and then it's all intuitive. It has certain fields that you fill out, and it will prompt you, so you can never go wrong. If you make a mistake, it will actually flag you. But if any glitches happen while you try to apply to the CAL apply system, let us know. We work with the registrar's office, and they will help you. But all of that is extremely critical because this is your first step to be in the system. So once you get that step out of the way, you go back and apply to the program, which includes, which is a separate process basically. And that process is outlined on our website, what documents you need and the basic criteria for entry and everything else. And we have a full-time staff who will be receiving and guiding you as needed. She will be receiving the information from you, and then create a file the minute you start your application process. Transcripts will have to be sent unless you have attended our campus. We will have access to those. But if you attend another campus, you want to make arrangements of having the campus send us official transcripts, and then we will include everything in your file. There are a lot of other requirements actually. Again, as I said, they are generic and general and universal of any other program. Talked about the GRE is not required at the moment. But there's a statement of purpose. After this session, I'm going to do a presentation about how you draft a statement of purpose. In other words, telling your story when you submit the materials about your goals, vision, ambitions, and accomplishments and all that. Also, you will submit a resume and writing sample, letters of recommendation, that and other materials. But letters of recommendations, again, you want to have at least 3 of them. One from people who have known you professionally. Sometimes we can submit letters of recommendation from someone they had in class, and sometimes they have someone they work with. Sometimes they have someone who has a supervisor. So try to seek diversity of those. You want to have somebody who has known you not only academically but also professionally and personally. Okay. So again, we will all of that is spelled out on the website, and we can provide information as needed. Just reach out to us. There are a lot of other requirements. Again, this is a doctoral program. You should have had completed a bachelor's and a master's degree with a high GPA. Sometimes the question we get is, do I need to be a principal or vice principal or in a leadership position to get into that program? The short answer is no. But you may have already had accomplished professional accomplishments. But once you have sufficient preparation and graduate training and experience based on what your role is in the academy and the schools, we'll take that into account. But it's not to make or break. We have people who vary in their level of expertise and backgrounds and so on. So we'll take those case by case. But again, talk to us if you have questions about that. Similarly, you don't have to be a highly honed, polished leader because we want to do some of that for you. So don't think of the expectation that you have to have all the skills and knowledge about leadership and experience and all that. But to have some of that at the basic level will help, definitely. Of course, this is again extremely important that you have to have the potential for productivity in the academic programs. This is a very rigorous graduate programs, different from the master's program, the bachelor's, or the credential program. It is demanding. So I think your accomplished academic record will speak for itself. When we look at transcripts, and maybe you already have published, you maybe already have gotten involved in grant writing and research and everything else. So that will be a great asset for you to showcase that and submit that as part of the statement and materials when we screen the application. Candidates vary. Some of them probably are at the beginning of their professional journey. Some of them may be midway. Some of them may have advanced levels. It's not going to be make or break. We look at everything. We triangulate all those artifacts you submit, and we look at everything counts. Okay, so never undermine anything that you have accomplished, and don't feel if there is a gap. All of us have gaps. Academically, professionally, and personally, and what have you. And that's the whole notion behind the program. Is it's going to help you fill in the gaps and enhance your areas of strength, and again meet your needs, academic and otherwise. All right. We also expect that candidates have dispositions and affective traits as professionals, as well as their commitment and advocacy for equity, diversity, and inclusion. And once your file is complete, okay, which is two-step, Cal apply first system, and then the program, you get us all the artifacts. We will look at that, review it. We have our faculty and the committee participate in the review process, and if we see you are a strong candidate to be interviewed, we'll interview you. And the interview process will take place usually early June. And then it consists of a specific set of questions where we want to know you more at the personal level. So we'll sit with you for about 25 to 30 minutes, ask some questions. You'll get the chance also to ask questions, but we want to learn more about you because we've seen you on paper. We've seen your credentials and transcripts and statement and recommendations and resume and all that. We want to hear from you. And then after we conclude those interviews, we again look at everything else again. The admission committee looks at that, and then we'll decide on your status of admission soon after. We will go from there as far as getting started in the program for fall 23. Which is also preceded by a huge orientation for all admitted candidates, and we have a full agenda for a half a day at least, and then set the stage for the program, for your program to start. Now, again, there are a lot of resources and information online on our website, and there are phone numbers and emails. Reach out if you have any questions or if you need any assistance as you start the application process. With that, again, I highly encourage you to participate. This is an exciting program, and education is an ongoing journey. It doesn't stop even by getting a doctorate. But if you are at a point where you are going to challenge yourself and reinvent yourself and reach the top of the mountain in terms of your personal and professional journey, this is one of the best avenues you can think about. It is a great investment. I highly encourage you to actually talk to someone who completed the program. Talk to someone who actually is employing one of our candidates who completed the program. And again, you may want to read some of their dissertations and research and publications. It is a great investment. And I mean, who doesn't want to be called a doctor, right? It will feel good once you get to the top of the mountain. And it is, again, financially, personally, and professionally, a great investment that you can never regret. With that, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the opportunity to share information about our program. Always reach out to us if we can assist you in any way.